Getting lost in the forest is something most people think they understand. You take a wrong turn. You lose track of direction. You panic. But eventually, you either find your way back, or someone finds you. This story is different. Because they didn't get lost. They walked in a straight line the entire time, and somehow, they kept ending up in the same place. Welcome to Tales Beyond the Flame. It happened during a late afternoon hike between two lookout points connected by a long forest trail. 3 friends, all experienced, all familiar with basic navigation. Map, compass, clear weather. Nothing about the situation should have gone wrong. They started around 3 p.m., planning to reach the second lookout before sunset. The trail was simple. One direction. No major forks. Clearly marked every few hundred meters. At first, everything felt normal. Dry ground, light wind, faint bird calls. The kind of environment where you don't feel isolated, just quiet. They passed the first kilometer marker without issue, then the second. Then, somewhere after that, things started to feel slightly off. Nothing obvious, just small things. The air felt heavier. The forest seemed quieter, not silent, just lacking something. Like background noise had been reduced. One of them mentioned it. The others noticed it too, but no one took it seriously. Forests change. Sound carries differently. They kept walking. About 20 minutes later, they came across a fallen tree blocking the path. It stretched completely across the trail, forcing them to climb over. Nothing unusual, except one detail. There was a clean cut mark near the base. Not recent, but not old either. Someone had partially cut it at some point. They stepped over and continued. Another 10 minutes passed. Then they saw the same tree again. Same angle, same cut mark, same broken branch hanging halfway down the trunk. They stopped, turned around, looked behind them. The trail stretched back normally. No second fallen tree, no duplicate, just empty path. One of them said they must have taken a small side loop without realizing. But there had been no turn, no junction, no split. Still, to test it, they walked past the tree again and paid close attention. Counting steps, watching landmarks, no turns, no deviation, just a straight line forward. 15 minutes later, they reached the same tree again. This time, no one spoke, because that meant one thing. They weren't walking in circles. Something else was happening. They decided to leave the trail. If the path was looping, cutting through the forest should break it. They picked a direction using the sun and started walking straight through the trees. No path, no markers, just a fixed heading. At first, it worked. The environment changed. Different trees, different ground, different terrain. Relief started to settle in. Then one of them stopped walking. He pointed ahead and said nothing, because about 30 meters in front of them was the same fallen tree, blocking a trail that shouldn't have been there. They didn't approach it immediately. They just stood there, staring. Because now it wasn't just the path looping. The forest itself didn't make sense. That tree should have been behind them, on a marked trail, not ahead of them in open ground. One friend suggested they were panicking and misidentifying similar trees. That explanation lasted until they saw the cut mark. Same depth, same angle, same exposed pale wood, exactly the same. They turned around instantly and walked the opposite direction. Fast, no discussion, no hesitation. After several minutes, they stopped again, because the forest ahead looked familiar, not similar. Familiar, a cluster of 3 trees growing close together, one with a split trunk. They had passed it earlier, on the main trail. They hadn't turned, they hadn't doubled back. Yet there it was, Now behind them, they heard something. A single footstep, not one of theirs. They froze. No one moved. Then another step. Off to the side, parallel, keeping pace without approaching. They started walking again, faster. The steps followed, always just outside their direct line of sight, never visible, never close enough to confront. Then they reached the tree again. Same fallen trunk, same position. This time, something was different. The cut mark was deeper. Fresh wood exposed where it hadn't been before, as if something had continued cutting it. Recently, while they were walking, one of them stepped closer, and that was when they noticed something carved into the trunk. Letters, rough, uneven, not old. It said, "Stay on the path." No one said anything, because they were no longer on a path, and whatever had written that knew it. The footsteps stopped completely. The silence that followed was worse, because now it felt like whatever had been moving was standing still, watching, waiting. One of them suggested they go back to the tree and stay there until help came, but none of them wanted to stand next to that message. Instead, they picked another direction. Straight again, no deviation, no turning. They walked for nearly 30 minutes. The forest grew darker, the light fading faster than expected. Then finally, they broke through the trees. The car park, exactly where they had started. Their car still there. No time had passed beyond what they expected. No sign they had been gone longer. No one else around. Just empty space. They got in and left immediately. Later, one of them checked the trail map again. There were no loops, no intersecting paths, no way to walk in a straight line and return to the same point without turning. They reported it to a ranger. He listened carefully, then asked one question. "Did you leave the trail?" They said yes. He nodded, then told them something quietly. Some parts of the forest don't like people wandering off marked paths, and sometimes they don't let you go any further. They never went back, and none of them hike without sticking to marked trails anymore. Because getting lost is one thing, but walking exactly where you're supposed to and still ending up somewhere you shouldn't be is something else entirely. Before tonight's story ends, I want to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video and want more dark mysteries, creepy encounters, and unsettling stories like this one, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next upload. And if there's a type of story you'd like to hear next, leave a comment below. Whether it's true horror, missing person cases, cryptid encounters, park ranger stories, strange rule stories, haunted locations, or something completely different, I read your suggestions. Your comments help shape future videos on this channel. So subscribe, leave your idea below, and I might turn it into the next story told here, Beyond the Flame.